Hello, everybody. Welcome to part two. If you were watching part one, we just got done talking about the Burbs. I finished my face. I think I need a little bit more blush, maybe. This is going to be an 80s inspired look. I have my overhead light on. I had it on, turned it off in the last video. If you came over from there, I think I'm going to leave it on just so you can see I'll apologize. My phone is probably going to be going off. I kind of explained what was going on with that in my previous video, but if you didn't see part one and you missed out on the Burbs discussion, definitely go watch that one. And yeah, we're going to be talking about hiding out. There's a hair on my nose. I think I got it. Okay, let me get my palette out that we are going to be using. I'm going to do an 80s inspired look with a new palette. It's not a new palette. I've had it for a little while, but I haven't used it. So it's new, but it's not new. I could be an organized human being and get this stuff out in advance, but I'm not. So I didn't. And now I have to find it. Give me a moment. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Couldn't remember what the outer packaging looked like. That creates a challenge. And then lipstick, we'll use that guy. Let's do maybe some liner if I can get my life together here. Probably not. Although if you've watched my videos, you know I don't ever quite have everything fully together. That's just how I roll. All right, let me get some water. I'm going to be using the Zoeva Block Party palette. I got this in a Tribe beauty box. I have a discount code for Tribe. I will leave it down below. You can get 10% off if you want to use it. But yeah, I'm going to do an 80s look. There's some fun colors in here. So yeah, I haven't used this. I have one other Zoeva palette. Kind of on the fence. I don't know that I like it. Can get my color switch out. I talked about my new little brush holder, so I have some eye brushes here. If I need more, the rest of mine are over there. I just get tired of moving my brushes back and forth. I talked about that in my last film. All of my brushes are over here off to the side, and I got to move all the cups, take them back. So I got this thing for my desk that it spins. It's not huge, so like I couldn't put every single brush that I own in it, but I put the stuff that I use that I grab for the most frequent. So frequent that I grab for most frequently. That's try and form complete sentences. So I'm just priming my eyes. I have a towel behind me with my pajamas. Okay. All right. So we're going to do that. And we're going to use this. And if you want to know which colors I use, I will try and remember. I'm going to look for just a moment because I kind of had a thought of what I was going to do. And then I wasn't sure because I couldn't remember what colors were in here. I know what I'm going to do for the top. I don't know what I'm going to do on the lower lash line. So we'll just jump in. And this could look atrocious. So yes, I was watching a Pretty Poison music video. I can't remember the song. And there were scenes from a movie in the video because it was one, those typical 80s where it's, she's singing and she's acting out, whatever. And then there's like clips from the film because it's featured in the soundtrack. So I was like, that's Jon Cryer. Jon Cryer, if you don't know, is in 2.5 Men. He played Charlie Sheen's brother. He was in, like, one of his most famous roles was as Ducky in Pretty in Pink. So Hiding Out, I think Pretty in Pink came out in 85, I think. Don't quote me on that year, but that was his big breakthrough role. So Hiding Out came out in 87. So this was after would have been after Pretty in Pink. And so I was seeing these clips from this movie and I was like, what is that? I've never seen that movie. So I looked it up and it is called Hiding Out. His character is like 27, is a stockbroker who was laundering money for the mob. I don't think he knew initially that he was laundering money, but he figured out later what was going on. And so, the DA wants him to testify against this mob boss. And it's him and another guy. And I wasn't paying attention, I don't think, at the very beginning, because I think his friend gets killed. And so the mob's trying to kill him because he's going to testify. So he decides to kind of go back to his hometown, but he can't contact anybody because the DA, the FBI are looking for him because they want him to testify, and the mob's trying to find him because they want to kill him. So he goes and he disguises himself. He tells his cousin who he is, but he doesn't tell his aunt that he's there because he doesn't want her to be in danger. He doesn't want her to know. So he cuts his hair because in the beginning he has a beard and his hair's longer and completely brown. So he dyes his hair at the gas station, and he's got I call it a reverse skunk, where it's dark all the way down like the mohawk strip, and then the sides all the way around are blonde. It's a reverse skunk. And I love that they didn't do a super good job. It's not even, it's kind of orangey to make it, believable that he did it himself at the gas station. And he trades his jacket with a homeless man and goes back to high school and pretends to be a high school student. And his cousin kind of helps him hide out in their house. So like I said, his aunt doesn't know where he's at. His parents are deceased. He was raised by his grandma. His grandma doesn't know where he's at. So he's hiding out, gone back to high school, 27 years old. And yeah, he meets a girl. They start dating. I don't know that the plot line with that age gap is something that they could do. I feel like people nowadays would be upset, even though he doesn't do anything with her, sexually. So and they, my ex-husband and I were almost 9 years apart, but I can see people being upset nowadays. So I don't know that it's that particular part of the plot. Feel like if they were going to make that now, it would have to be changed slightly, have him be a little bit younger. But other than that, like I said, they want him to run for class president. He's having trouble at school. The mob is still trying to find him. They're starting to kind of figure out where he is. And it was just a good movie. I mean, there was some funny elements in it, but I don't know that it was necessarily marketed as a comedy when it was made. But, it was an 80s. I would consider it a teen movie because the guy that plays his cousin was in Adventures in Babysitting and played the son, not the friend, and has been in a lot of other movies. Was really, really good in this one. His cousin's a little bit dorky and having trouble with girls, and he tries to help him. And I don't know. I really enjoyed it, and I was surprised I had never heard of it. I'm trying to think what I'm doing here. Okay. I figured it out. I told my dad I had watched it. My dad obviously was like, oh yeah, I remember that movie. I don't think my dad quite remembered his hair. I showed him a picture because that was hysterical. That's still the funniest part to me when he came out of the bathroom, because when he picked up the box of bleach, I was like, oh, okay, he's just going to bleach his whole head, because they did that in The Outsiders. They just Pony Boy bleaches his whole head. And then he comes out and it's just like he had literally taken the bleach on his hands and he cut it, shaved his beard. It was funny. That part was quite funny to me. Probably more so because I do hair and I was just like, what is happening? But it was good. I was surprised. I had never heard of it. I'm a huge fan of Pretty in Pink. Pretty in Pink is probably one of my most favorite, probably top 5 80s movies. So I was quite familiar with Jon Cryer before he was on 2.5 Men. He will always be Ducky to me because of that role. I know I'm not the only person, because he has said in interviews that is probably his most recognized role. I did not put concealer on my eyelids, so like the blue is starting to blend in. I think if I was going to wear this out, I would conceal my lids and kind of blank that out. I think that would make the yellow, not that this isn't vibrant, but I think that would make it more so. And then, yeah, on this eye, it's wanting to like blend in. I took the teal down a little farther on this lid, but I'm not going anywhere, so I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, I would say if you wanted to recreate this look, if you have this palette, put some concealer down, because that yellow will look a lot better. I don't know how I feel about this palette. It's not a bad palette, like I said. That yellow's hard. Yellow's a hard color to formulate and really have it be pigmented, so it's not the yellow, not like I said. You put some concealer down and it's going to be super bright, and that's going to cancel out any of the teal anyway, so that doesn't really bother me. The teals were pigmented. I did the shimmer in the crease and the matte on the outer corners because people will not use a mostly shimmer palette because like they're like, oh, I can't put that in the crease. If you sheer out like what I did, I took it here and blended it out. It's not going to look like a shimmer. Like, it's probably hard to tell because the camera quality on that I'm using isn't great, but I mean, it does slightly come across satin, but it doesn't look like a shimmer. So if you have a shimmer palette, you're like, I don't know what to do with it, and you're somebody that doesn't like to grab multiple palettes, put it in your crease and sheer it out, and it's not, unless it's like straight up glitter, or chunky, but like shimmers like these, you can do that with it. It's not gonna translate, excuse me, if that makes sense. I'm gonna put the pink on the bottom. I probably look a little Bozo the Clown-ish, but like I said, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm trying to figure out if I even like this palette. I've had this for several months. It's been sitting in there, and it's one of those, because of the color scheme, I was like, I don't know what I want to do with it. I mean, there's, how many mattes are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's 1, 2, 3. So it's even, but like there's a pink, there's a purple, there's a navy, there's matte turquoise, seafoam, like, so it's like you look at it and it's not necessarily one of those that screams, do this look with me. I'm just trying to see. So I don't think that pink and teal are colors that can go together, but it's very, very bold. But yes, so I was super excited when I discovered Hiding Out. It's not on any streaming services. I had to use it, look it up on my Kodi box and watch it on there. You can rent it off of Amazon, and you can purchase it to buy on Amazon. If anybody wants to watch it. It was good. I was quite impressed, and it was a little bit longer. I was surprised. I want to say it was like an hour and 37 minutes, which is not long by today's standards, but for an 80s movie, I feel like that's kind of long. Generally, movies were about an hour and a half. You didn't see a ton of, especially comedies, teen movies, lighter movies like that. There were dramas that came out that I think hit the 2-hour mark, but it wasn't common. So I was like, oh, this is almost, an hour and 40 minutes. Kind of surprised. I am calling it a teen movie just because he had to go back to high school. I'm assuming that's how it was marketed. I don't know. I wasn't old enough. I was alive in 87, but I was 3. So I couldn't tell you the target audience. But to me, it kind of seemed like a teen movie, young adult. You'll have to leave me a comment if you're older and you remember. Did it go to the theater? I'm just curious. Was that a movie that was like a hit? How well did it do? Or was it like straight to video? I'm just curious. So if you were around in 87 and you remember, or if you look it up and you decide you want to tell me, I'm just curious if that was a movie that went to the theater. And if so, did it do well? Is it a movie anybody else has seen? Because like I said, I had never heard of it. My dad had seen it. He knew when I told him what movie I was talking about. But yeah, that was never a movie I had ever heard about. So when I discovered it, I was super excited because I love those kinds of movies. It was funny. There was some drama elements in it. I would say it was a drama, like a teen drama. I don't know that I would necessarily call that a comedy. Like I said, there was funny parts in it, but again, I don't know how they even marketed that movie. So I'm curious if anybody knows. Leave me those comments down below. I'm just going to put mascara on and lipstick, and then we're all done. I would say that I don't hate this palette. Is this a palette I'm going to reach for? I don't know, but I don't hate it. I do want to use it again. I like the color combination that I did. So I definitely want to do the teal and the yellow again with concealer to see if I can get that yellow to pop. I generally don't do mattes on my lid, so I did a shimmer satiny color in my crease and a matte on my lid. Trying to broaden my horizons and just not do complete glitter all the time. I love shimmer on my lid, so I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. So I just did some liner on the top and some mascara that you probably can't see real well. I'll turn the overhead light off as soon as I'm done. I'm going to put some of this back now before I'm finished, but yes. So I was really surprised with that movie, and I really, really liked it. So I would recommend watching it if you've never seen it. If you can find it, I would recommend it. This is dry. I like these Jeffree Star bullets. This is they're a little bit drier than the ones that I have. Normally I will put some chapstick on. I figured we're talking about an 80s movie. I'm doing an 80s look. You need a hot pink lip with 80s. When we're talking about 80s stuff. I feel like that's a necessity. This is Jeffree Star Starfish is the little bullet. Yeah, this is the finished look. I don't like it. I don't know if it's better with the overhead on or not. You can probably see a little better right here. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for coming back over for part 2. I really enjoyed both movies I talked about. Definitely recommend them. Like I said, we talked about The Burbs, and then we talked about Hiding Out. So yeah, definitely go check those out. Also, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed already. If you made it this far and you're still here and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, become part of my little YouTube family. I do a lot of different videos, so it's not all makeup. And yeah, I have a movie review collab coming on hopefully Saturday. So yeah, I'm excited for that. So you'll definitely want to be subscribed. Hit the little notification bell so you get alerted when I post new videos. I try to do at least 2 a week, sometimes more, but I try to do at least 2. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave me comments down below, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye, everybody.